So a few years after reaching retirement, I was beginning to get bored with life, and I needed some adventure. That's when I came across something called the Trans-America Trail, and I was introduced to adventure motorcycles. I had a few motorcycles in my 20s and 30s, but that was like 30 years ago. So I began a search for a motorcycle that would be up to the task of the Trans-America Trail, would fit my physique, my budget, and abilities, and I settled on this Suzuki DR650 SE motorcycle. I found this 2013 lightly used model with only 4,000 miles on it. It came with a skid plate, a rack, and some really cool ammo can panniers. The rest was up to me. Over the ensuing years, this trusty machine and I have covered the Tat, thousands of additional dusty trail miles and campsites, many BDRs, and it's never really let me down. Affectionately called by several names such as the Bush Pig, the Goat, the Doctor, officially Suzuki calls it the DR650 SE, and it's a tried and true dual sport motorcycle that has earned a cult-like following since its introduction in 1990. It represents a rare breed of motorcycles that hasn't changed significantly in decades because it hasn't needed to. Rugged, simple, and reliable, the DR650 is an ideal bike for riders who want a go-anywhere machine without the frills. No gas gauge, no ABS, no ride modes, an analog cable-driven speedometer, no electronics. Oh, it does have an electric start. There's a reason why this bike has long been the choice of Australian outback travelers and around the world adventurists. Any repairs, if needed, can be handled trailside or by any small village motorcycle mechanic, and parts availability are abundant worldwide. The engine is the heart of the DR650's charm, bulletproof and easy to work on. While it won't win any drag races, its power is more than sufficient for both off-road trails and highway cruising. The big old thumper is 644 cc's, air oil cooled, a single cylinder 4-stroke. No fuel injection here. The fuel system is gravity fed through a Mikuni BST 40 carburetor. This means it's old school in terms of throttle response and tuning, but for many, this simplicity is actually a plus. And like most everything on this bike, aftermarket pumper carburetors are available. And speaking of aftermarket, because this bike has been around as long as it has, the aftermarket support is vast. Modifications and upgrades, they're plentiful. So this bike is a blank page. It can be modified and made into whatever style or type of riding you wish to do. From the fuel tanks to suspension, seats, handlebars, exhaust, windscreens, you can customize the DR to fit just about nearly any purpose you have in mind. My purpose was to ride the Trans-America Trail, and many trails after that, hopefully. Let's take a look at the modifications and aftermarket products that I've done that have served me well for a long time. The suspension is decent for light to very moderate trail riding, I discovered right off that there was a terrible dive when you would put on the front brakes. So this was the first big ticket item that I addressed. ProCycle in Oregon will sell you and ship to you just about anything that you want to add or upgrade to your DR650. A great source. I ordered a set of their Cogent front springs and the hydraulic drop-in cartridges, along with the Mojave Cogent rear shock, with appropriate spring weight for me and for the travel and luggage that I intended to do. I installed an Achirby 5-gallon plastic fuel tank. Give me about a 250-mile range. I installed a fat bar with risers, hand guards, wider and lowered foot pegs. Also engine case protection. Fortunately, my bike came with a Seat Concepts comfort seat and an Achirby skid plate. I did a carburetor jet and the needle modification as prescribed in the kit from ProCycle. Properly adjusted for the aftermarket Leo Vince exhaust. This has performed really well for me, and I've never had an issue riding from sea level to 12,000 foot top mountains. LED headlight, tail light, and turn signals. There have been various windscreens and other odds and ends. I can't recall them all right now. With a bike that's been under production for as long as this DR has been, none of this information is new. Hundreds and hundreds of videos and articles have covered this same subject. But there are two other old thumpers out there with a similar heritage: the Honda XR650L and the Kawasaki KLR 650. The Honda is lighter, it's taller, and more off-road oriented, with better stock suspension. The Kawasaki is heavier, more complex with its latest fuel injection and water cooling, and it's more of an adventure road bike touring oriented. The Suzuki sits right in the middle. A blank page waiting to be what you want it to be. Is the venerable old DR650 still relevant? I'd say it is for riders who want a durable, do-it-all bike. Adventure riders who value simplicity and field flexibility. Or commuters and back-road country explorers on a budget. Tinkerers and DIY mechanics who love customizing. Sure, there are new bikes coming on the market of great interest. The Ibex 450, the Himalaya 450, and the new KTM that's on its way. Modern and lighter. But the Suzuki DR650 is a living legend. Its basic, rugged design has stood the test of time, and it makes one of the most versatile and approachable dual sports ever made. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching, subscribing, sharing. Ride safe, and I'll see you out there.